Listen, I've never had any problem expressing my opinions, but what we're doing here is bigger than that. These are conversations that need to be had in an unfiltered way. Drag racing's all I've ever done. It's all I care to do. I respect the history, I appreciate how far we've come, but I want more for this sport, and I'll fight for it. It's uncut, it's unfiltered, this is the show of shows. The biggest names in drag racing. No holds barred. This is the great American motorsport, drag racing. Prove me wrong, I'll wait.
What is up, T? This is
what's up, gang? Wes Buck here. No, he's not. He's gone.
It's the Les Buck Show, man. This is
the
rare occurrence that Wes is not with us this week on vacation. I know. Well, he's got enough internet access to be, tracking what we're doing and everything. So I think he's just, monitoring the situation. But we're going to do the Les Buck Show, but we got some killer guests lined up. It's going to be fun. We always have a good time when we do this. But the first thing you realize when you're not going to have Wes is you're going to have a lot of airtime to fill. There's going to be, you got to think about that. We're not used to that, T. So what better way to do that than to bring on one of the legends, one of the legendary voices of the sport, the voice of NHRA drag racing at this point, and the voice of the Drag Illustrated Winter Series, Brian Lohnes. Then we've got Chase Lautenbach, Michael Poland, the new Street Car Takeover partnership. Those guys are kicking off their season. They're a couple events in at this point, but got some exciting stuff, some partnerships to announce, and we'll check in with those guys as well. And we may have a couple other surprise guest appearances.
Hey, you never know.
Up our sleeve. We don't know, because I mean, it's like substitute teacher day, kind of. It's like roll the TV in on the damn cart and pop in the VHS tape type of day is what we're doing today. And those were always pretty fun. So this will definitely be fun. So what's going on out in Missouri? Golfing, I see.
Well, no,
already
we golfed Saturday and in a tournament, but then it like on the way home, snow, like complete blizzard. It was coming down sideways.
Yeah.
And that was after tornado warnings. I mean, this weather's crazy.
The weather is nuts, dude.
Yeah, and then NHRAs, they're all talking about how hot it's going to be there, and I'm sitting here in a blizzard. Like what?
They would pray for some of that cold front at this point.
Yeah,
we got that here too, man. All these winds and got some tornadoes ripping roofs off houses down the road for me here. We got we got some crazy stuff going on around here, and then it's supposed to be like 80s by the end of the weekend. So you never know what you're going to get. No, yeah, birthday week, man. My son's birthday last week.
I'm gonna go. We'll just celebrate.
Let's do it, bud. Here we go. Let's go. I got one ready right here too. It's not an Outlaw, but I got to get one. I need to get Lyle to hook me up with some Outlaw, but I got one here. Let's celebrate St. Patty's Day yesterday. 30th birthday again for me.
How old are you now?
Man, I'm getting pretty damn old. I'll tell you that. Doing this stuff will make you feel and look a lot older too. These the Drag Illustrated Winter Series has aged all of us dramatically. If you look at when we started doing our events to now, the gray hair has really popped up on all of us.
When I go back through pictures or just look at like your birthday pictures that people were posting, young, just even like 6-7 years ago. It's like, wow,
don't do it, man. A lot of pounds and a lot and many more gray hairs later. That's what's happening. But Jess Malante looked at one of those pics and said, "Nobody's going to convince me that this is Mike Carpenter." That pic was like 20 years old. In fairness,
I know. But I like digging those pics. Well, let's bring on Brian Lohnes.
Let's do it, man.
Happy birthday! What's going on, fellas? How are you?
Appreciate it, man. What's up, dude? You're in your uncooked form at this point.
Yes.
You look like you're in the Lohnes residence. You haven't made your way to Phoenix yet.
I have not abandoned ship yet. I'm going out in the morning. I built a sauna in my backyard. I've been intermittently just sitting in there for hours on end. Yeah, it's
training, man.
It's going to be, exactly. You got to put in the work. But no, it's definitely, we'll get into it, I'm sure. But it's going to be an interesting weekend for 1,000 different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. NHRA season kind of does this cross country trek that, you know, it's a new thing, really, starting in Gainesville. Then you go all the way to Phoenix. Then we're going to come all the way back to Charlotte. Used to go Pomona, Phoenix, Gainesville, then I believe Charlotte. So a little bit of a different trek for these guys, a little more space in between. But like, just as far as the timing and the schedule, is that like, you know, ear to the ground? Is that working better for these teams, for the tracks? Is this kind of reconfigured schedule since they put Gainesville as the first race of the season? Has that been well received?
You know, I think it has been. I think obviously, you know, we did it in 2021 because of the fact we simply couldn't go to Pomona at that point. Right. They still hadn't released, you know, live events or whatever. And, you know, the big change this year, too, is there's no spring, you know, Las Vegas race, because it used to be almost a mini, like, early Western swing, Phoenix, Pomona, Vegas. Then you come back out. So now it's going to be Phoenix, Vegas, Phoenix, Pomona. And there's a week or two off in between those two. And then, of course, the teams get time to come back across the country. So, you know, in the end, with the addition of Rockingham, with the addition of SGMP, with the addition of MIR, you end up with a tighter, like, logistical window in the mid part of this, the late spring, mid part of the season. So, yeah, we're kind of we're taking the long way home on this one, but I'm looking forward to it. It's always cool. Pomona's always great. That's a race that continues to, like, slowly creep itself back. You know, it's nowhere near where it was back in the day, but every year we're seeing some gains there, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, so it's more like, you know, get your long travel out of the way earlier, and then you've got this cluster of more East Coast centralized races that you're going to hit with these new venues, which I think is probably one of the more exciting schedule changes that we've seen in many, many years. The addition of you know, these smaller mid-level type tracks, I would call, like MIR. SGMP, Rockingham. I cannot wait to go to that Rockingham event personally.
It's going to be insane.
Yeah, whenever they pack that place out with the way that it's designed, and those fans are just right upon the track. I mean, there's probably going to be some kind of adjustment to that maybe by the time we get there, but that's always an exciting deal. And when they ran Nitro there back in the NHRA days, and you know, some of those days before that, it was always exciting. But Pro Mod again making it stop there at Rockingham, of course. Literally, I mean, you can't even think about Pro Mod without thinking about Rockingham Dragway. So that's really, I'm really excited to see NHRA embrace that. And I know we've talked about that to some degree, but just to see them kind of go, let's bring our product to these smaller tracks, these new venues that maybe, even though they're in kind of the same area that some of these other tracks are in, introduce it to new fans or fans that don't get a chance to go to these larger events. I think that is going to be really well received.
Yeah, look, I give all the credit in the world to, you know, Raul and his family at SGMP, Don O'Neill down there. Those guys are, I mean, they're doing all kinds of stuff. They're adding more permanent grandstands down the right side. You look at what Royce Miller and those guys are doing at MIR with the walls and everything else, the moving scoreboards. Same story at Rockingham. You know, they ripped out, the first couple hundred feet of that drag strip and put a new surface in there. And, you know, Bristol, which has long been on the tour, but they ripped the whole surface out of that place. So, you know, in reality, you had a season that was going to have 20% of the racetracks that crew chiefs had no clue or had never run down before. And then you add Bristol to that, because this really it's going to change Bristol completely. Not having to deal with the ski jumps and the whatever was going on with that surface. So I feel like that's going to be a whole new kettle of fish there as well. So those guys are going to be earning their money. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Well, let's talk about this weekend and just coming off of Gainesville, going into Phoenix. Like we talked about, I think the obviously the overarching storyline going into this event is going to be the temperatures, the weather, unseasonably warm, even for Phoenix. NHRA's already adjusted the schedule, really, I think, as much as they can to try to get the meat of the racing away from those hottest parts of the day. But it's still going to be brutal. I mean, we're talking about 105, 104. You know, it's going to be a challenge for these teams. And we talked about this. We actually, I mean, you see this to some degree at pretty much every event, but you and I were calling the World Series of Pro Mod.
Yeah.
We came out Saturday for eliminations. It got really hot. It rained the night before, got really hot. The track changed dramatically. These teams had to navigate less than perfect conditions, even though they had that pretty much the entire winter series up to that point. So we're back to kind of the genesis of drag racing, where it's not knocking down the scoreboards. It's not a qualifying fest. It's who can navigate these conditions the best in race day situations. So with all that said, what do you have your eye on? I mean, who are you watching? What kind of things and scenarios are you watching as we go into this? Who's got an advantage? Who has a disadvantage in these scenarios?
I think first off, the race needs to be renamed the Factory Motor Parts Breakfast Burrito Arizona Nationals, because that's we're gonna have pro stock cars on the racetrack at 9:30 in the morning on Friday, and then 10 a.m. on Saturday. So
we like that back here on the East Coast.
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't have to wait all day. When these West Coast
right.
races happen, I'm like sitting here like, when are we going to get this show on the road? But yeah, that's going to help us on the East Coast.
It really is. And I guess the things I'm concentrating on the racetrack, I've talked to a bunch of crew chiefs over the last couple of days just to kind of get their thoughts. And they all think that by the time we get into the afternoon sessions, which would be Q2 and Q4, racetrack's probably going to be 140 to 150 degrees, maybe closer to 150. So we have seen racetracks that hot before. Virginia a couple of years ago, it got that hot. But the major difference is when it got that hot in Virginia, the air was like soup. And
right.
the thing that's going to make this very difficult for everybody is that the very dry air. So the engines want to make some power, especially the fuel burning engines really want to make some power in the dry air. And then you're going to have to back everything off and soften up your clutch and all this other stuff to even get the car to move any sort of semblance of performance. So, that's going to be the big question. And in pro stock, my opinion on pro stock is that if you miss the field in qualifying session 1, there's a chance you're not making it at all. And that's going to create some scenarios where, I think we got 20, whatever, we got 22 or 21.
Yeah, I was going to ask how many cars are entered.
Yeah. So, you're going to have a situation where there's 5 or 6 cars, not making the show, and they may not be the 5 or 6 cars you'd expect, because obviously the cars that are more aggressive and make the power are going to have maybe a disadvantage here by having to get the thing moving without shaking the tires or spinning. And, the final round last year, if you remember, was Greg Anderson and Dallas Glenn, and that whole confluence of things happened where one guy went red. I think Dallas went red, and then Greg shook the tires, or the car shut off. It was a bizarre thing. They handed him the winner's trophy in the starting line.
I think they just backed him up. Yeah, they just backed him up from the 60 foot to the starting line. Like, here's your trophy, Greg. And there was all that controversy about that Dallas had thrown that race for Greg.
Oh, yeah.
You hear a lot about that. Now, that has always occurred on the elite side of things. That's been the accusation over there. As your booth mate Tony Petrigon has found himself in the crosshairs of that a couple of times.
Social media clip of the year last year. The social media moment of the year was Erica and Tony nose to nose at Reading. Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, but then it swung back.
And listen, I can give you some inside baseball on that too from sitting there. So, Courtney. So Courtney comes up to me as we're getting. So Courtney's always part of our Insider Live. We do the NHRA play NHRA odds with her on every show. So she comes over. Erica comes over, and Erica's sitting in a chair, like a director style chair that one of the camera guys had set up for her. She's like 6 feet away, but she's facing us. And I've known Erica long enough to know she was geared up. Like the moment I saw her, I'm like, oh. And then Courtney said to me, oh, Erica's got some words. Erica has words. I'm like, okay. But the crazy thing is, if you go back and watch that whole show, I didn't think they were going to get into it, because we talked about a bunch of different things. And then I'm like, wow, maybe because we're getting near maybe the window of time, we're getting kind of down near the end of it. And all of a sudden, I think it was Tony that started it. And you could see she changes her posture, and it was like, here it comes. It was compelling, man. Look, it was super compelling no matter what side of it you're on. And the reach that it got was insane.
It really is. We actually were just talking about this.
Go ahead, JT. On social media, and it's going just bonkers. But the level of hate that some of these guys have for Erica in these comments it's mind-boggling. It's like you not have anything better to do with your time than to be picking on Erica. I mean,
it is wild. When we were putting together the graphic and going through the story, we're like, yeah, post it, but just be ready, because this is what happens when you post anything about Erica. And it was about her running Pro Mod this weekend, which I think is another big story. She's going to be doing double duty, jumping into the car that she was running in the Winter Series in Pro Mod as well. Which is like, how can you be mad about that? Like, that's a great thing for Pro Mod. That's a great thing for the sport. But apparently everybody that is mad about it had a comment on this post yesterday. And it's just amazing to see, good or bad, or, just how polarizing she can be. And some of these other characters in the sport, especially the female drivers, we've noticed this. Yeah. We think it's a fantastic thing. Yeah. The more, the better. And we see some amazing new faces on the scene, like Maddie Gordon, Ida Zetterstrom. She talks a lot, even on her social media, about some of the stuff that she deals with on there. It's just amazing to see. Like, we talk about needing new blood in the sport. We talk about needing new faces, and then we get them, and then we try to run them off as quickly as possible. A lot of times, it's just,
if they have something to say, march your ass down there to the elite pits and say
bingo.
I've
seen how
it's
that
not hard
movie
to find.
It's
not hard to find. It's a compound. It's a compound of about 10 red rigs down there. Yep. Yeah, you can find it easily. Erica, and she's normally. Yeah.
Listen, and those
stay away from Royce.
Those two guys, all those guys, they're itching for it. Like, it's the old adage is more true about Elite Motorsports than any other team I've ever seen in drag racing, which is, if you fight one of them, you're getting the whole trailer park. And they don't stop till it's over. I mean, I've witnessed their handiwork in action, and it is something to behold. Yeah.
You're right. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's keyboard warriors, man. Everybody says this stuff that you would never see or say to their face. And then people, I saw a couple comments kind of saying, we should police it better. But we're a small team, and we don't have a dedicated social media comment police person. And that's a job in itself when you get some of these posts. Like, we even saw some stuff with the Maddie Gordon deal at Gainesville. So it just really unbelievable to see some of the.
That girl's a star.
Some of the comments.
I think there's a couple of things. One, I don't think it should be policed, right? Because a part of me wants her to drive this car right down those guys' throats, right? I mean, that's the payoff here. And Richard Gadsden was a guy that got a lot of guff on the internet over the course of the offseason, wins the championship, and a bunch of people are running their mouth about how it's not legitimate and everything else. That guy was an ass kicker. He won that race in Bristol, and it was game on from that point forward. He was every bit as good as you can possibly dream to be on a pro stock motorcycle. And he came to Gainesville, won the race, had a great top end interview, like super classy, but Dave definitely wanted to take the golden Wally and just insert it up the reverse end of a lot of people that open their mouth in the wintertime. And, part of me is like, yes, let all these mouth breathers say whatever they want, and then go out there and just run it down their throats. And the other thing, the thing that I struggled really hard with when I first got the broadcasting job with NHRA is, you go from being like the track announcer, the local track announcer guy, and everybody's patting you on the back. Oh, we love you, man. Everything's great. And then I'll never forget it. We leave that first race in Pomona. I get on the plane and I, get on the internet. I flip my social media open, and it's like, holy shit. Everybody thought I sucked. That's what it feels like, right? Every single thing you see. And that was a struggle for like my first year and a half. It's a really strange thing to be put in a position where the only thing you're seeing, and you key in on it too, obviously. Like, that's why social media works so good, right? We key in on these negative feelings and you need to keep going back into it.
Yep.
And eventually you got to get over it, and you got to kind of move on, and you got to enjoy the fact that guy that can't help himself but to comment negative things is the first guy watching the show.
Oh, yeah.
That guy is tuned in 5 minutes before we come on the air. And I love him for it, because it keeps me in a damn job. So it's a tough thing, but you're right. And the Maddie Gordon thing, people are up in arms that it's like, oh, this is, you guys are making too big a deal out of this and this and that. I've never seen anything like it. And two things happened at Gainesville I've never seen anything like. The first one was Maddie Gordon and how people just insanely responded to her. I mean, that was unbelievable. And then, of course, the second thing was the way they responded to Austin Prock and what happened with those guys. dude. And it was
we talked about that last week,
ends.
but we didn't have your expert insight on that.
Sure.
We're talking about the internet fodder and how that went ablaze also, but kind of in the opposite direction. We were talking about how Austin's gone from hero to villain here really quickly. It feels like there were a lot of people that were happy, I feel like, to see that. And after the whole off-season situation went down and the absolute massive fan base that John Force Racing has, that kind of just said, all right, I'm with John Force Racing, and now you have betrayed us. Now you're a villain. And they were so happy to go out to see him go out and struggle at Gainesville. What's like behind the scenes, the feeling there with Austin and what happened there?
You know, it was as incredible as it was to see people on their feet cheering Gordon every time she came up the return road. So that interview was recorded for a TV show, and they clipped it and played it over the Jumbotron. And Tony and I were sitting there, and I think we were between stuff. I'm working on my computer, and all of a sudden we both looked up, and I'd never heard people at a drag strip generate boos to the level that they came. We could hear them plain as day through the glass of the timing tower. And, you know, I think Austin's been pretty clear on his stance on it. It's like, hey, listen, I don't want you to dislike me, but when we start winning, you're really going to hate me. And if you go back through history, there are people who have made their entire careers as being the foil for John Force. And John Force isn't in the car anymore, but you know, you look at Al Hoffman, you look back, you know, Chuck Ashels, Al Hoffman, Whit Bazemore, like go down the list of guys, even Tony Pedregon to a degree, right? I mean,
Hagen.
when he left, Matt Hagen. And so there's no shame in it, because you're part of a pretty elite group of company that has generated this response. I've just never heard it in the volume and with the intensity that I heard it. And, you know, when those guys inevitably start to win. Yes,
that's an amazing thing. When have you heard, you know, over all the sounds going on at a drag race, that kind of audience pop? That's to me is a great thing. And if that is that's the side of the fence that Austin Prock finds himself on, I feel like he's well positioned to play that role and ride that thing all the way to the finish line. And I think that's a great storyline going into this event this weekend.
The most important thing about a
lot of fans as well, you know, you know, like when he left, he made himself a villain, which is a lot of fans, you know, with JFR. Yeah, but you also picked up all these fans that weren't fans of JFR. Now that that's their boy, you know, where it wasn't before.
100%.
Like I just looked at the odds. He's still Matt Hagen, Jordan, and then Prock as far as the odds go for betting right now. So I mean, well, the fact that Jordan, I mean, if not that these guys need any more, not that they need any more motivation over there in the Ford car that Austin's driving, but when he looks at the odds sheet and sees Jordan Vandergriff is set ahead of him in the odds this weekend, are you shitting me? I mean, come on. I mean, it's like waving a red flag in front of a damn bull. I mean, it really is. And you know, I think the last point I want to make on this stuff is that this happened, all this stuff that we saw in Gainesville happened organically. And that's what makes it. And then we're going to talk to Mike Poland and Chase later on. And the success that they've had has been organic success. The creation of Little Gangsters happens organically, blows up across the country. Street Car Takeover happens organically, becomes this massive outfit that they could not even have predicted. And for us, it's like these two things came to pass without us, you know, having to feed to people or without us trying to amplify them. They self-amplified themselves, and that is enormous. And so that to me is why it carries like a wildfire all the way across the country, because now people are leaned into it. They're not leaning into something that we're teasing them with. They saw it all right in front of them, and that's what makes it a huge thing. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's shit. I mean, really.
I know. You couldn't ask for it to go any better. And how about, you mentioned Jordan Vandergriff, and how about Josh Hart and these new additions to John Force Racing, just going out and having success right away, Josh Hart winning the event. Well, you know, what's your take on that? I mean, these are Jordan Vandergriff and Josh Hart are obviously capable drivers, have been established in the sport, but then I feel like they've picked up right where those seats that were vacated that they now occupy. It's like they never missed a beat.
The only thing that John Force Racing screwed up at Gainesville, and it really wasn't even their fault, was that Jordan had to race Jack Beckman in the first round. Yeah. That was it. Hart wins the damn race in their top fuel car. Alexis makes the final in one of their funny cars. Jordan goes to the semis, and if Jack hadn't had to race Jordan, I'm thinking he's probably going deep in the rounds as well. I mean, it couldn't have gone any better for those guys.
That's pretty
unbelievable
wild
to see, because I mean, you see what the names that left, obviously Brittany, Prock, the whole situation there. You could see, like, is this going to hurt John Force Racing? What's going to happen there? But man, they just really didn't miss a beat. Like you said, Alexis Ajoria being added to that fold as well. They look really strong going into this event. But
I need to send Prock this hoodie. Can you read it?
Before you'll be ready for that, man.
That's a great sweatshirt.
Unbelievable. Before we bring on Chase and Michael Poland, I wanted to touch on one other thing just while we're talking about Nitro and NHRA. So we've seen this barrage of 340 mile per hour performances at this point.
Yeah.
The first one happened at the Pro Superstar Shootout in Bradenton a couple of years ago.
It did.
Then we saw him pretty much knock that door down, and it's been open in NHRA for the last year and a half. But now we're really seeing it, especially in Top Fuel. And from what I understand, is mostly a result of the mud flap situation, those being removed, and what that's done to the drag on the car, the downforce, and what it's done to the tire as well. That supposedly what we're hearing is the concern over the tire chunking and the tire holding up to those speeds has been greatly diminished with the removal of those mud flaps. Are you hearing that same correlation basically?
So what's interesting is when this experiment first got going, talking to Todd Rogers, who's one of the engineers at Goodyear, and he and I were staying in kind of close proximity on this, because they were, as they always do, they inspect every time a fuel car comes off the top end of the racetrack. There's engineers from Goodyear that inspect every tire. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but Goodyear has engineers on site every run. So I believe, if I remember right, the number was like 10 or 12 degrees across the board. Tire temperature dropped. Obviously, heat is a big enemy of the tire. And yeah, I mean, the idea or the concern, a speed concern doesn't exist. You see people post, as we talked about on social media, a bunch of stuff like, oh, they're going to slow them down because Goodyear doesn't want the tire going this fast. That tire has been tested far faster than they're going with it right now. I don't know how much faster they want them going than they are now, but I know that we're still within a very comfortable window for the engineers of what that tire is capable of. So I think you got a couple things going on. I think one, yes, you have the reduction in drag from the flaps definitely picked people up a couple mile an hour. I think last year we were very fortunate with a lot of cool races and a lot of races that had either some time interruptions that moved things and shifted things later on in the day. And I think that helped as well, just the raw power and a really good racetrack. But I also think, you saw Alan Johnson now has kind of figured out the formula. David Grubnick and Jimmy Prock kind of had it mastered for a while on the funny car and Top Fuel side, but now we regularly see, Langdon going 340 at Indy last year. Doug's been over the number. So I think it's a couple things. I think, yes, the reduction in drag on the flaps has helped, and it certainly helped keep the tire comfortable and happy. But I also think just the natural evolution of these, crew chiefs understanding incrementally, learning incremental things as time goes on and being able to apply those into a tune-up, it's wild. And
yeah, getting more passes without it, basically, to where they're learning that. And then, I mean, talking about the conditions and the downforce or the traction that's there, and they don't need those essentially anymore for most of these nighttime or these really good run conditions. Yeah. But we just talked about the weather in Phoenix this weekend.
Oh, they'll have them on this weekend.
Are we going to see for this weekend, the return of the mud flaps by and large on a lot of these cars?
I would be shocked if we didn't. And to me, if we don't see them come back, it means that they really have no effect. I mean, to me, that's going to be a bellwether. I would assume that they're going back on, because especially down course, if this track's going to be 150 degrees, that even no matter what you're doing with one of these cars, it's going to want to spin the tires down the racetrack. And if those add, what are these? I think what was the number? 450 pounds. I thought the number was somewhere around 450 like pounds a side of downforce. I got to believe they're going to be using them. And again, if they're not, it kind of says to me that we maybe never needed them in the first place.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting to track who's got them back on, because it was interesting to track initially who took them off. And then basically they're all off now. And then who's going to put them back on this weekend? Just one of those things. I mean, if you're hardcore about the sport and love that technical side of it, it's exciting to watch it's almost more exciting to see an outlier event like this with the conditions that are going to be there than kind of your run of the mill perfect situation. For me, I love to see how these guys handle it.
What a race for Eric to double up driving. You know,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Please, by all means, spend more time in a fire suit. Yeah.
Yes. That's another thing to talk about. She's gonna be doing double duty in that SFI. Well, she's got an SFI 20 for the pro mod car in a thinner suit for the pro stock, but still that's gonna be brutal. And then
this week he bought one of those vests that you throw in the freezer. It's basically like an ice pack you can put on underneath your suit. And I mean, that's pretty cool. Just thinking ahead how hot it's going to be. I mean, I think he was talking about maybe doing the circulation thing, but that was too much shit to dick with. I think so.
Yeah.
I think the coolest winter circle photos in drag racing, period, end of story, are the ones that come at the end of a really trying weekend. It's like, and that's what we're going to see. Like these winter circle photos on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening in Phoenix, you're going to see crew guys just wiped, drained to the max. You're going to see drivers drained to the max. And it's going to be that, like you guys are going to have, they're going to have a cold beer in their hand. And it's going to be that moment of like, we absolutely survived this thing. And I can't wait to kind of see who figures that out.
Yeah,
they're going to definitely earn it.
Leslie on the property giving IVs out.
Yeah.
A myth down there.
If they could only get somebody there to distribute ice, that would be a great.
Just 2 bags.
That'd be a great 2 bags per team, man. That'd be a great addition to that program this weekend.
Some equations are really tough to solve. Some equations are just very difficult to solve.
They'll get there eventually, man. The NHRA will figure out that that's a really key piece of the entire program. So maybe you could drop a little note over there to Glenn.
I will. I'll complain about my conditions inside the booth enough that they'll have to bring in the ice brigade. Yeah.
Well, let's go. One of the best parts of doing this show without Wes is JT's script reads for our sponsors. Really, the only thing we have to do on this show is keep it going and don't lose any of our sponsors. But when JT does these script reads, we get really, really damn close. And so we like to walk that line. So we're going to let JT jump in here for our first sponsor of the day. JT, take it away.
Go to first here. Let's do Redline.
Oh, damn. I fat fingered the button.
Hey, gang. When you get lubed up as much as me, you go with Redline oil. There's nothing slicker out there. And I know some slick people. I've got 2 of them in the other room with me. So if you're going to get lubed up, trust Redline oil.
That's their new lubricant line that's coming out soon. The JT line. We're gonna have to talk to Mark before Mark Beatty kind of leaves his post at Redline. We need to see if we can get that in the R&D. Yeah, we got some invoices to send so we can get in the R&D. Well, without any further ado, let's we're gonna just swing the pendulum 180 degrees here, going from NHRA Pro Show to the other side of the sport, Street Car Takeover. Little Gangsters, obviously, with Poland. This whole new partnership with Poland, Chase Lautenbach, the whole Street Car Takeover team. We got those guys waiting in the green room. Let's bring them on.
All right, here we go.
What's up, guys? How are you?
What's up, man?
Hey.
How are you living?
Poland doesn't even have his chain on. I'm really disappointed.
I know, man. Where's the chain?
Yeah, you look like you're big chilling.
I'm slacking like JT was. Like,
dang.
I've been slacking, man. I didn't wear my chain all winter series, and I really think it affected me. It affected my performance. I got to bring that thing back out.
I feel like it did affect the performance a little bit.
It did. Well, I didn't get a new one. I thought I was getting a new chain coming, but because I wasn't wearing my old one, I think I got my new one.
Yeah, like, I mean, how am I supposed to justify spending money on you, Prock, if you don't even rep the old one?
I was supposed to get one too, and I haven't even got one this year.
We're serious about those chains. After Scott Palmer wadded his pro mod up in the strawberry field, we were drinking some wild turkey that night, and telling war stories, and I was like, man, you're like the original gangster. So I let him have my chain. And then I told Tom and Michael that I let my chain go. I gave it to Scott Palmer. And they go, go get it back.
Go get it back. What do you mean?
I'm telling you what. Going asking Scott Palmer for your chain back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, after he just crashed his damn Pro Mod, the least you can do is let him have a chain.
Hey,
dude.
those are sacred, man. They're hard to come by.
They are, man.
So
They are. I'm afraid we get mine snatched every time.
Me and Jimmy and Barrett got our Winter Series jackets. We roll out like that's dinner material everywhere we go.
That's a dinner. You can rock that thing. You dress it up or dress it down, man. I mean, that thing is versatile for sure.
Oh, you can wear it with Crocs or some like low dunks. I mean, it fits with everything.
Crocs around here, bro.
Well, JT,
man.
you would wreck if you wore a pair of Crocs. You would wreck those too. So
I probably would.
So Chase, man, since the last time we had you on, you got the beautiful backdrop back there with the Street Car Takeover graphic, dude. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's a hell of a setup, man.
Yeah, we're in my garage right now.
Yeah.
So
looking good, man.
Thank
So
you.
lot of moving and shaking going on in the Street Car Takeover
Tons, man.
scene.
Tons.
You brought in questionably you brought in Poland and Jimmy Dale into this
against our better
fold
judgment,
here.
yeah,
And
against our better judgment.
Yeah, man, you guys have got a lot cooking this year with your schedule. Some new things, new partnerships going on. Just catch us up on what's been happening with Street Car Takeover to end 2025 and going into this year in 2026.
Yeah, man. It's been huge for Street Car Takeover. You know, like you said, we got the little Gangsters guys on with us. We're moving around, doing some new stuff, doing some new races at some new tracks. We just got done in Famoso. First time we've ever been out there, man. That was a pretty cool experience out there in California. Looking forward to growing that event further in the upcoming seasons as well too. But yeah, we're trying some new stuff. You know, we're playing in the no prep space a little bit now. Doing some stuff at the NASCAR tracks down Pit Road. But still going to all of the big NASCAR tracks and stuff like that. The little Gangsters guys have been really, really good at helping us with those things. And I'm looking forward to a good 26, man. We got bigger payouts, more racing. I think it's going to be good, man.
Yeah, I mean, with all this stuff, like the evolution of what you guys are doing and kind of adapting to what you see as far as the demand out there in the sport, what the audience wants, what your base is looking for, what kind of brought on the little Gangsters deal, and how did that end up happening? Like meeting with Poland and Jimmy Dale and getting that going, and how's that fit in with your program?
Man, I think the easiest way to answer that is if you look at the 530 class right now, there is such a huge demand for it. And them boys, they really figured out a problem to, I would say, kind of our sector of the sport was having. And that's, small tires getting super, super fast. And they kind of,
somebody's going to rip that off.
Right, man. It's wild. So it's one of those deals where, you just messed me up big time. Because I know what you're talking about.
Reset.
Right. So anyways, we brought these boys on. We kind of saw space too, and they were quick to fill it, and they've done such a good job at it. We kind of always thought it's like Little Gangsters is kind of like Small Tire Junior. You know what I mean? Small Tire is getting so fast out there, even in our sector of racing. You know, we got guys going 380s, 390s, 4.0s, just anywhere in that space. And it's getting really, really competitive out there. So the 530 class, it kind of gives a whole nother lineup of guys a place to shine and a place to race, and they've done it better than anybody else. So
I think to piggyback off of that, the little Gangster stuff, what we did Charlotte with you guys last year, Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Charlotte there, and we had a really good time at Charlotte. It got rained out. We really just partied with the boys all weekend is what happened because of the rain.
That's what it's all about. That's the most important part of it.
Rain days sometimes are the most fun days.
No,
Right,
and I
yeah.
think that gave us an opportunity for me and Jimmy Dale, as well as Chase, Sam, and Ryan, to kind of like we had similar goals. And Street Car Takeover, has been known for so long for the racing form, but a lot of roll racing and stuff like that. We brought in the little Gangster stuff, but then also I think Chase is like we have used our resources and stuff like that to try to help Street Car Takeover to the best. Like Atlanta, we called some of the people that we knew as far as in the Atlanta area and was like, hey, you run the street scene there. What rules? What do we want to see? What's this? Like, how do we work together to make this happen? Kind kind of just ties it all back together, like using all of our resources to make the best product that we can for Street Car Takeover.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of people yelling and screaming about rules and this and that. And we're just trying to find Chase and everybody's had a set of rules. The rules for Atlanta may not be the same for Dallas, and the rules for Dallas may not be the same for Charlotte, because you have to change with your demographic and where you're going. Like the pit road stuff, I think will be really big, versus in Dallas, I think the little gangster stuff will be really big there, just because of the two different demographics and the things around the country. So us all working together, you got 5 people with about 3 brain cells, and we're figuring it out.
Yeah, we put them together pretty well, though. We do.
Yes.
Yeah, man, 3 across, spread across 5. That's a tough math.
Right.
I mean, Jimmy Dale doesn't account for any of those. Let's start there.
Oh man, I mean, and like you were talking about, it's really about the community and about everything going on outside of the track, outside of the racing. And I've seen that, like Chase, when you guys bring your show here to Charlotte, to ZMAX, all the stuff, the dyno deal in the parking lot and the parties and at the restaurants and stuff, like, oh yeah, just talk about building some of that stuff in the community that you guys build there, and just the vibe that you build before you even get to the track, and how that is a big part of the Street Car Takeover brand.
Man, it's just a party, me and all my boys, me, Sam, and Ryan. We just like to have a good time. All of our guys do, all the guys that work for us. And then we brought in the little Gangsters guys, and they like to party too. So it's one of those deals where it just kind of works, Our night meets out of Twin Peaks, especially in Charlotte, man, we'll see anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000 people out there at Twin Peaks. It is insane. And I'm not exaggerating those numbers. I highly suggest,
it's nuts, man. I've seen
if you're anywhere near Charlotte on June 5th, on June 5th, you need to be, actually, I guess it would be Thursday, so it'd be the 4th. So June 4th, if you're anywhere near Charlotte, you have to come to the Twin Peaks in Concord. And that event this year,
if you plan on eating, you better be at Twin Peaks at 2:00 in the afternoon. Because when we come
if you plan on eating at Twin Peaks, you better be there at 8 a.m.
That place is crowded enough. I mean, there's so much going on in that area. It's nuts all the time. And then you guys come in with that event, and it is the whole place is shut down. But that's right. I mean,
not only that though, but this year we're doing something even bigger too. So the High Performance Expo, it's a new trade show, kind of like PRI or SEMA or something like that. We're actually going to be co-hosting the High Performance Expo with Jamie Meyer and his team in Charlotte this year. So we're going to go from the High Performance Expo straight into Street Car Takeover Charlotte. So everybody that's at the Expo will be able to come to SCT. And brother, it's just going to be a whole week. In fact, the mayor of Charlotte just actually proclaimed that week is going to be called the High Performance Week, the High Performance Motorsports Week or something like that in Charlotte from now on. So that's going to be a huge week in Charlotte.
I'm coming to Charlotte.
So
dude, I got a room ready.
So essentially you'll go into the Expo Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then right off into a Street Car Takeover pre-meet Thursday, racing Friday and Saturday. So it's literally a full week of performance racing.
I mean, I feel like that's a smart deal. I've seen some of the videos with Jamie Meyer and stuff. I feel like that's a great partnership. They launched that deal last year, and then continuing the success and partnering with your brand and rolling it into the event, I think is huge. And Charlotte is literally Race City USA as it is, but just continue to add to it. But drag racing like NASCAR and some of these other forms kind of swallow up a lot of the scene around here, but just getting that day named by the mayor and doing more drag racing stuff with HPX, I think is a huge deal. So just some of these partnerships you guys have going though, like with you got new partners, VP, Hoosier. You got,
so this year, man.
Talk a little bit about that.
It's just been going crazy, man. We are we're full throttle, our foot's on the gas. So this year, VP Racing Fuels, they jumped on board. So not only they are now the official fuel of Street Car Takeover, but they're also the official traction compound of Street Car Takeover as well too. So they're handling both sides for us there. And then Hoosier Tire is now the presenting sponsor of Street Car Takeover as a whole and our point series. So we're doing a really cool deal. Hoosier just dropped a new DR3 drag radial, which fits and aligns with us perfectly in just about all the kinds of racing that we do. So they jumped on board with us at Street Car Takeover, and they also are going to be over our point series as well too. So all of our classes are going to be a point series this year. year. And if you even show up on Hoosiers and win on Hoosiers, you get extra points towards the series. So it should be a good partnership, man. We're excited about that. So,
Who's your daddy?
yeah, that's
Who's your
right.
daddy? Shout out Frank, Nick, all the boys over there. Because I mean, we already worked with Hoosier on the Jimmy Dale Poland side of things, and then bringing them on with Street Car Takeover. Those dudes are awesome. So they
just made sense.
Yep, just made complete sense to do that.
Good deal, man. I mean, your next event is the pit road deal in Atlanta, right? March 27th and 28th at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And is that going to be the first time you're doing that? Like the pit road deal, or you started that late last year?
No, yeah. So technically, I guess we started Atlanta 2 years ago. So this will be our third time in Atlanta doing that. But we also added Nashville last year. Remember, that was where Billy the Kid in his Camaro was like taking flight across the finish line with Ryan. Yeah. So
probably one of the most epic drag racing photos in the last decade or so. We had to feature that thing in our photo annual for this year. And if we could have found a photo that was cropped well enough for it to fit vertically on the cover, that was a cover candidate for that issue.
100%. And the cool part is those boys are going to be running it back again in Atlanta, and then we already have a plan for them to come do it again in Nashville with us as well too. So, and we're doing Nashville twice this year. So we're also working with Kane Brown, the country music singer. He's got his Miles on It tour that he's doing this year. Well, he wanted to do an automotive event with us as well too. So we're handling all the race for Kane Brown at Nashville Super Speedway, and we're going to be drag racing with Kane too. So it should be pretty fun, man.
You got a lot of shit going on.
I know, it's wild, man. I can't.
And you're partnering with DI too.
I know.
Right?
Yeah. So,
what is going on around here?
Right.
I woke up this morning.
Is very small this year.
I went to bed at 10:30 last night, mind you, and I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning, and there's like 152 message in the Street Car Takeover group chat. I'm like, what are y'all doing? What are we doing here? We got enough on the plate already, boys. Like,
right, we're ripping.
I mean, that's the first thing I think about with you, Poland and Jimmy Dale. I'm like, do these guys? When do you sleep? Because I mean, you guys have so much going on. You're everywhere. We see your deal or just your faces pretty much all over the country with all these races. But like you said, it's like you kind of got to get it while the getting's good, right? And you've seen a lot of people like JT was talking about. You've seen some offshoots of what you guys are doing, and it's almost like you got to stay out front and sort of ride this wave right now with this brand that you built.
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I'm supposed to be at Texas Motorplex right now with Jimmy Dale running 50 Shades of Brown. I didn't even call him and tell him I wasn't coming today. I'm literally sitting on the couch just hanging out. But
just ghosted.
Mind you, I work 24/7, 365 all the other time while he Jimmy Dale. So I can take a break for a day. Give me 24 hours.
Amen, man. You gotta take some.
Honestly, Barrett needed some parts that hadn't arrived yet at his house. I have to pass his house to go there, so it's more or less y'all handle it today, boys, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Situation.
They'll get it. Let them get all the work done. Let them get the bugs.
Exactly. Y'all get all the stuff lined out, and then I'll show up when y'all are done looking like jackasses.
I don't roll into the Winter Series events until the damn first pro mods in the water box for Q1.
I don't even think I've seen you at Winter Series. I heard you in the tower, but I don't think I ever seen you at Winter Series.
Yeah, I don't. I just go up there, do that, and then I hide until the next time I got to go up there and do it.
I wrecked Colin's wheelchair at Yard House.
JT did in fact wreck the wheelchair at Yard House.
Dude,
I don't doubt that at all.
His wheelchair is super light. I went to ride a wheelie and just went straight back.
I told him, I said,
it's a pro mod wheelchair.
I told him, I said, hey, that thing's a chassis car, and you're a little bit more up top heavy than I am. Be careful. And about 3 seconds later, JT was on his back.
You have to put him in his own wheelchair.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. I tried to warn him though.
Talking about pro mod and talking about running these cars on pit road. Did you know some of the first pro mod races were on pit road at like Charlotte Motor Speedway? I got videos
I can't even imagine
of my dad and some of the other pro mod guys. This was like what we call the pre-pro mod era. And so it was basically an exhibition, but Brian, you could probably speak to some of the history of this. I mean, it wasn't just pro mod, but running on pit road is not a new concept. And before all these tracks were around, this was kind of how you got your show on that big stage at the Roundy Round track, drag racing on pit road.
Yeah, the IHRA ran a national event on pit road at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the early 70s. With it's kind of an insane story. A lot of weird stuff happened that weekend. But yeah, no, it's been a thing for a long time. And I'm really impressed with the way you guys are handling all this stuff. And I guess if I had to throw a question at you to derail Mike's point here on pit road stuff, how do you kind of maintain with all the stuff you got going on? Do you have to ever ride the brake pedal a little bit to try to make sure you're not going too far too fast? And maybe this is more of a question for Chase.
Man, yes and no. I think this year it's very much a year that we all put our minds together. Like, man, let's just throw a bunch of stuff up against the wall and see if it all sticks. And I don't know if we thought that everything was going to stick. But right now, everything is sticking, so it's working really, really good. So I'll answer that question better at the end of the season if I don't fall asleep first. So
I think Chase, where I think we work all well together is because there is Sam, Chase, Ryan, myself, Jimmy Dale. There's so many minds involved that I wouldn't say that it's riding the brake. But you have so many people intertwined and so many different, what do you call that? Perspectives on the situation.
And fail safes.
We all really kind of work together. And, you know, when Chase throws an idea out or I throw an idea out, you have Ryan, Jimmy Dale, and Sam or whoever, you know what I mean, that are playing devil's advocate all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? You know, we know everything before it actually happens because we've kind of gone through the whole situation in our heads or whatever. So I wouldn't say that it's riding the brake. We're just extremely cautious because there's so many people involved in so many different perspectives on different things and how they work.
Right. And having those boys on this year has just been like the biggest thing for SCT. Like, you know, I would say that Poland and I think we're dreamers. I think that's pretty easy to say. And then like Eric from Texas Motorplex, we hired him on now too. He's full time with us as our race master and kind of head of operations and stuff like that. So that's taking a lot of our plate too. So with Sam and Ryan and Eric and Jimmy and Poland and myself, you know, like three of us can kind of be the guys that are like, man, let's dream real big. And then I have guys like Ryan and Sam that are just like, that's a great dream. How do we do it?
Like, let's be realistic. You know what I mean? They're the realist in the situation.
They
are.
I
understand where you're
the operation.
Yeah, we understand where you're trying to go, but let's be realistic of how we get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we're the heart of the operation, and they're the freaking brains.
yes, no doubt about it.
That's all the best partnerships work that way. That's how it's set up around here. We don't have our dreamer here today, but this is the brains here, the kind of manning the ship and making the stuff happen. But that's the way. I mean, if you surround yourself with people that are so similar to you and you all have the same skill set, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to be like, you have to have that ability to look at yourself and know what you're not good at and surround yourself with people that are good at that, even though that's like can kind of expose some weakness in yourself or make you feel, you know, that you're not invincible or whatever. But if you can wrap your head around that.
I was having a conversation with somebody the other day and they were just like, it was almost like a must be nice conversation. They were talking about such and such. He's got so much money. He's an asshole and this. I was like, you got to think about it too, that he probably has all that money because he didn't spend 15 or 20 minutes talking to you about nothing. And like, I pretty much had the conversation of like, you shouldn't hate those type of people. You should figure out how to sit at a table with them so that you can figure out how they got there. And it's the same situation.
Right. And the cool part about it is those, like, we're all car guys, you know, like we all live this, we all bleed this, you know, like Sam, he's got a freaking bad radio car that he's debuting this year. That car, I mean, if he's man enough, that sucker will be pretty deep in the threes. You know, that car is bad. You'll see it soon.
It's Rick Bailey's. It's Rick Bailey's old Bandito car, and it's
oh nice.
They redid the whole car, and then Sam acquired it, and it's going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be insane. And then, you know, Ryan, he's got a Fox body that should be a pretty bad little unit too. We're getting some stuff figured out with that at the shop, and then Ryan's going to start racing that car, so that's new for him too. And it's we're all racers, man. You
Hopefully somebody will buy Chase's GTR so he's not rainbow anymore,
I got
and he can come racing with us.
I got a deposit on it. That sucker is going over to Europe, man.
There you go.
Yeah, pretty excited about that. So,
And Chase
Yeah, I
always
think-
has all that cool shit. You know it? Like,
What?
you follow him on social media, it's like, my God, he's got some cool ass cars.
Yeah, the Chase Lautenbach for sale department on Facebook is always bumping.
it's
That's
pretty
for
awesome,
sure.
man.
Well,
It's
and that's a lot of
fun.
people doesn't like.
It impresses
lot of-
me. I look at it and I'm like, what the hell am I doing wrong?
A lot of people don't realize that Sam,
JT,
Chase,
how much
and
time
Ryan
you got? It's a long list. I was-
It is.
Yeah, Street Car Takeover is not just the only thing that Sam and them do. It's Sam and Chase and them do. They have Race Ready Auto Sport too, and
Right.
it is insane. Like I'm at the office once a week or sometimes twice a week, and every time I go in there, there's a different Lambo, there's a different GTR, there's some crazy ass Corvette that's worth $300,000. Like there's always it's really cool to see, because most of the times me and Chase are only talking about Street Car Takeover stuff. I don't know how he does all the other shit. I don't know how he makes it happen.
It's
with
because
these
I have
cars
Brian
coming
and
in.
Sam also. That's how I do it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we have Logan back in the back just pulling his hair out, wrenching on
Yeah.
everything. I mean, it really does take a team, man. And that's the best part about SET and what we got going on, even over at Race Ready. You know, I always tell everybody, they're like, man, it's so cool. I'm like, it really is cool if you think about it. You know, like we sell these cars, we build these cars, we race these cars. We can teach you how to race these cars if you want to get into it. Like we're really a one-stop shop over at Race Ready. And then, you add in Street Car Takeover to the mix too. And it's like a match made in heaven, man.
That's pretty
Man, you guys got it going on for sure. Tell us, how can we get tickets, sign up for the events? Where do we need to go to check everything out in the schedule for this year?
All right, so obviously we're on Facebook, Street Car Takeover there, Instagram, Street Car Takeover. Right now, all of our ticketing is done through the Foat. So if you go to thefoat.com and search Street Car Takeover, all of our events will pop up. And then pretty soon here, we're going to be rolling out our new website. It's just streetcartakeover.com. And I think we're going to be switching over to doing ticketing over there too soon. So all the
Everything.
merch is
So
on there. Everything's
yeah.
over there.
everything, you can go to streetcartakeover.com and it'll hit get tickets, which will take you to the Foat. Pretty much everything is ran through the Foat right now. We do have an event page on Street Car Takeover. You go to Street Car Takeover Facebook page, hit the events tab. It'll pull up all the events where you can see rules and yada yada yada.
Yep.
All that
Links and
stuff.
comments
So
for
so the next event, March 27th through 28th, Atlanta Motor Speedway on Pit Road. Then what's this big coming soon I see here? We got a little teaser,
they're
April
coming
10th
soon.
That
and
Yeah,
11th.
yeah, that's the Kane Brown deal. So we'll be in
Okay.
Nashville, April 11th and 12th. at
that's
National
you,
Super
you
Speedway
probably
with
need to
Kane Brown.
update the flyer, Chase, and so where it
It's
just
been
says that.
updated.
Well, no,
It's
the
been
on what
updated.
on the actual flyer you have, it just says coming soon. It doesn't have
Oh.
the miles on tour thing, but it's been announced. That is
We're
the
getting
Kane
we're
Brown
getting you a
event.
to-do list right here on the show.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Miles on it.
You and everybody else.
Hey, look who just popped in the green room. Let's see what
Oh,
Oh,
That
shit.
freaking
Hey.
guy.
Lyle,
freaking guy.
congratulations, man.
Hey, Lyle,
Thanks,
are you
dude.
coming to Charlotte this year so we can wax your ass with 50 Shades of Brown?
Better be.
I hadn't even been on here 5 fucking minutes.
That's
man.
right.
second,
Oh,
Already
five
Already
seconds.
gartering at your neck.
We were
I
talking
might.
street car takeover, and last year we didn't get to get it done because of the rain. And then you got your pit stolen, and we got duct tape. There's a lot of stuff that transpired, but no race actually happened.
There's a lot of shenanigans.
Yeah, you can get some get back.
We leave and come back, and literally 50 Shades of Brown. The wheels are taped, the doors are taped shut, the windows are taped, and the whole car's taped. Well, then Lyle left, and we were going to steal his doors out of his trailer, but we got caught. Then he ended up leaving. We just picked this whole canopy up, pit everything, and moved it over 50 Shades of Brown. Just moved it across the way.
Yeah, I showed back up, had no pop-up tent, no pit mat, no tools, no nothing.
You don't need it.
Not where you're going, bud.
That's right.
What's going on, Lyle? Are you out in Phoenix yet? Or are you still
No, I'm
back
at
east?
I'm at the beadlot capital of the world.
Oh, okay.
Maxrat beadlot.
The beadlock capital of the
No,
world.
I fly out tomorrow to head to Phoenix. I think a few of us are going to go to the high limit sprint car race tomorrow night, which is in Phoenix, and check that out. I
Okay.
secretly am a huge fan of the large cojones that those guys carry around in wheelbarrow stuff to drive
Dude,
those
them
things
guys are
into the corner
nuts.
wide out. Just set them good.
They probably say the same thing about you. You need to
They
get
probably
those
do.
guys over there to watch you in the pro mod.
Yeah, but man,
That's
like,
fair.
So it sounds like you're going to go drink some Outlaw beer and watch some dude hold their nuts.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of Outlaw beer this weekend to stay hydrated and stay cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be an important thing for you to do this weekend, Lyle.
JT,
Not while driving.
I don't know if a beer to water ratio in 105 degree Phoenix is a good idea. A JT ratio, Hudson ratio is probably not the way to do it.
Yeah, that maths to me, bud.
Drink an ultra in between.
I would say ultra is like water with extra steps. That's right. That counts.
That's how you stay hydrated.
Man. Congratulations though on the Outlaw.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
That's pretty cool, man.
Huge.
You know, we had a really good showing in Phoenix, and that was the first Tuesday of that week was the first time I'd ever sat in that car. It's the 9th car that I've driven this year, and I was comfortable in it.
Already.
I figured, I just got comfortable in it really quick, and knew we had a car that could win. And Brian talks about it sometimes in the broadcast at the races, but like throughout the course of the day, I just kept getting better. I was 25 in the first round. I was 13 in the second round. I was 006 in the third round. But I felt like I had hit it pretty good in the semifinals. And I'm like, I don't think I could be a whole lot better than that. And the sun was shining on the tree, and I was like, I don't need to, we're not allowed a delay box. So you just have to do it in the cockpit, and I tuck my arm in by my side or butterfly wing it out or bury my thumb in the cup or however. And I just kind of went up there and did my thing. And I don't know if I trickled it in an extra, you could stuff it in an extra inch and go 003 red.
Well, not all of us, but.
Yeah, well, but
red line oil.
It was heartbreaking, for me, that Cord and Mike and the guys, they worked really hard, and gave me a car that could win. We were low for every round of elimination, set top speed of the meet, and just flat should have won the race, but you live by the sword and you die by it. So we just have to move on. But when I left, Billy called me and he said, "Hey, dude, I would really like for you to run a few more races with us." And I told him straight up, I'm like, "Well, look, man, I know what it costs and I know what these guys are getting to rent a car, and I just can't do it. We did it for several years and it got my name out there, and I've been very fortunate to drive for people like Tommy Humans and Scott Tidwell, and Billy's like, "Look, if we can just find some sponsorship along the way and you can kind of help out, then that'll work, but let's go to Phoenix." So he is leaving me in the orange car. He's going to pull his Outlaw car out. They converted it to NHRA legal. It's never been quarter mile. And Billy said, "I don't care. I want to drive the white car. I want to leave you in the orange car. And, and let's go win a race," which is really cool. But
that was going to be my question, is if you were going to drive the orange car, they were going to put you in the white car. So
it's hard. I mean, after what you did last weekend, it's hard to pull you out of it, right? I mean, you're probably feeling that yourself. It's like, damn, now I got to get out of this thing, and I don't know when the next time I'm going to be in it, because you were dominant last weekend, up until the finals, and that to me. And then the sponsorship with Outlaw Light Beer, like talk about that and how that came about to help keep you out there.
Yeah, so when Billy told me that, and then I kind of talked to Brandon Stroud, who's the crew chief, and he kind of paused for a second. He's like, "Really?" Like he doesn't want to get back in the car that's proven to probably be the best car in the class right now. And I'm like, "Look, man, I'm just telling you what he said." But so I got home and I'm racking my brain, and I'm literally like, what rich friends can I call that would sponsor me, that would give me like $10,000 to go to Phoenix?
Yeah, it's good strategy.
Billy was going to let me go, but I really felt like I need to do something. And I'm remodeling my basement after we had an unfortunate plumbing failure in a flood, and I got a text message from Mark Stockseth, and he literally was like, "Hey man, was watching the Shake and Bake show, saw where you had an opportunity to drive for Billy a little more this year. Would some sponsorship help seal the deal?"
Would it?
Heck yeah.
In fact, it would.
Yes.
In fact, awesome. It would. And throughout a couple text messages, we agreed on a deal and wired the money, and it's all said and done. But it's I've been in the hunt for a beer sponsorship for a while.
You have, man. Dreams come true. Yeah. Dreams come true, Lyle. You just got to stay at it.
Aggressive.
I beat Yingling up pretty hard. And they actually gave me some beer for my wedding, but just never would come through for the deal, And I actually approached Mark a couple years ago. I was like, "Hey, man, would you be interested in Pro Mod?" And they were just getting into NHRA, and the business was still up and coming. And he was like, "Man, I don't have room now, but in the future, let's talk. And when the other night he was like, I had a list of people who had came to me and who have left me alone. And, you know, and you were one of the first on my list. So, you know, just a huge thank you to them for giving me the opportunity, because without them, I wouldn't be doing it. You know, I'm not one of those that can go out here and just rent the car for a year and show up with a helmet and just do it to have fun. You know, I'm out there trying to perform well enough to attract big sponsors like this, you know, and I guess finally I was beginning to question whether or not just flat performance could go out there and get you a sponsorship, you know, and I feel like as good as we did in Gainesville, you know, and then Mark being a buddy, you know, he felt like it was a good move, and we're going to try to work hard for him and see if we can sell some Outlaw beer. You know,
well, Mark knows the deal, man, too. It's not just that. It's not just the performance.
100%.
We got to get personalities, names like you out there that have the ability. And Mark, it's always good to get those text messages from Mark Stockseth. And he was a big supporter of the Winter Series this year as well, with his Outlaw Beer brand, supporting the VIP tent. And you couldn't walk 2 feet at Bradenton without getting handed an Outlaw Light beer if you're 21 years or older. Disclaimer. But I mean, he's one of these guys that gets it. And like, we don't hear his name a lot. You see his brands, but you might see his name on a car or something. But one of these guys that's like one of these silent benefactors for drag racing, but he gets it, and he puts his money behind, you know, or in the right places, in my opinion. So it was really awesome to see that come together.
I just want to say, isn't it crazy how great Jesus works? Lyle's sitting there thinking about how he's going to make it work, and the text message comes through. You know what I mean? Like, if it's meant to happen, if it's that organic stuff, I tell Jimmy Dale all the time, the organic stuff and the way things happen, like sometimes it's just meant to be. And you know, like Lyle said, he's been chasing a beer sponsorship forever, and it just one fell in his lap. You know what I mean? Like, way not to be a shitty person, Lyle, and just be good people and see what happens.
Attaboy, proud of you.
Mark, he is salt of the earth type dude, you know. And if you've seen Matt Smith's motorcycle and see Stockseth, him and Angie, like that's who that is, you know, for those of you that. But you know, he showed up when I needed him, you know, and I'm excited to represent their brand. I've got some stuff that I'm going to do in Phoenix. Got a couple free tickets we're going to give away, and it will have something to do with the Outlaw Beer stuff. But I've got some stuff that I want to do, and you know, and try to show them some appreciation, man. You know, they stick their neck out there and give us some money in hopes that they can get a return, you know, and you got to go to work for them. And I think that's something that's been lost. You know, people are out there with their hands out waiting for somebody to pay them. And then when they get it, they don't go to work for these people. And that's not how it works. You know, I'm essentially an employee now, right? You know, I'm out there representing their brand in a positive manner, you know, and then you've got to help them sell it, right? You know, I've always said, if somebody gives you something, they need to be able to sell 10X off of what they gave you, right? And that's just kind of how that works. And so I'm excited, man. It kind of fits. I guess, boy.
We're going 7 wide now. I don't know if we've ever gone 7 wide on the show, but we're doing it today.
He's got that good looking jacket on. He must be going to 10.
Man.
It's 85 degrees outside. That man wearing his jacket.
Kick him off.
He's got his Crocs on too.
He's muted. He's muted. He looks like he's on a dial-up connection.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Brian, are you a fan of the Outlaw Beer?
Yeah, man, I was sucking those things. I was sucking those things down during the chip draw, like they were giving them away, because they were giving them away and they were good. Yeah,
I got some in my fridge too. I'm not even joking. I can go grab one right now.
It's good stuff, and it's available everywhere. I think that's what's cool, and Mark has been really excited about that. I literally just got back from the grocery store this morning. Outlaw Beer right there beside, you know, Bud, Coors, all the mainstream beers.
Well, and I'll say it's doing its job, because I've never heard of Outlaw Beer until I started associating on this side of the world. You know what I mean? And now, like, I go into the grocery store and I see it. It's the first thing that I see. It's that old thing, you know, you don't ever see a Toyota Tacoma until you buy a Toyota Tacoma. Then you see 50,000 of them. It's, you know, that's
Toyota Tacomas. What?
It was just a reference, JT. You would wreck that too, so why are you worried about it?
Hey, Lyle, are you working on your shotgun skills, or like your Stone Cold? You're gonna Stone Cold 2 of these things together in the winter circle, or what's
here's
happening?
What I can promise you: if I win in Phoenix, I will stand on the intake of Billy Banneker's Pro Mod and flat Stone Cold as many as you can handle. Over and over and over.
Lock that in.
When you win, you're gonna be doing that.
When you walk up for the top end interview, just a lot of swag, and just stop and go, where's the litter box?
Boom.
This cat's shit.
Hey, hand the person doing the top end interview at Outlaw Beer.
I don't know who's talking
before
about.
you do it.
Yeah, we can.
Somebody's got
Gotta
shitty
handle it.
connection.
Well, I'll fuck off too.
But yeah, I'm gonna. I do need to polish up on the shotgunning skills though. I haven't done that in a while. I saw
Talk
JT at the
to
golf
Steve
course.
King. Steve King's got
Practice
it down
makes
pretty
perfect.
good.
He does.
Yeah, practice makes
Pretty
perfect.
impressive, really.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, dude. Hey, stay cool
Hey,
out
Lyle,
there
just
this
a
weekend.
word of advice: when you do it, don't throw the beer cans in the downward direction, because Jimmy Dale did that when we won World Series of Pro Mod, and no exaggeration, I almost died by beer can. Like 2 inches from the top of my head, I almost died by beer can.
Here's what I suggest: if you're around me in a winter circle celebration, Poland, wear a helmet.
I got one.
Worry about it.
I kind of want to go to Phoenix now just so I could roll into the winter circle with a football helmet on.
Hey, we'll let you borrow that helmet I'm wearing in that post that JT made earlier today.
Yeah.
That's a good one, dude. That fits your head good.
We have about the same size forehead, so I think we'll make it work.
Oh yeah, no, hell no, I got you beat, man. I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated on forehead.
I mean,
And
my God.
There's me and Brian, we talk about that up in the booth. We got
We're gonna sell
games
space. Yeah,
Hey,
we're gonna sell space on him next year. Yeah.
You guys are like the Manning cast of drag racing.
we need some outlaw beard neck tattoos. We'll just put them on Brian and Mike Carpenter's forehead. Best walking billboard in the game, baby.
No
Done.
doubt, man.
You guys can go.
Hey,
You're from
if
space.
Outlaw Beer is watching this, if you sponsor Jimmy Dale Racing, I will tattoo the Outlaw Beer logo on my forehead.
There you go.
Real one?
Damn.
A real one.
Gotta-
Poland?
Damn.
Dedication.
There's stipulations. There's the dollar sign
Hey,
would
I was
have
gonna
to
say,
be.
man, that's bold.
That's real bold.
Yeah. I'm not taking one of those Cletus $1 a year sponsorships. I assure you of that. Put that to my forehead.
You're an
Oh
idiot.
my god.
Looky here. Oh my God.
Jimmy Dale's just popping in here and there.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
randomly.
Why'd you pull me over?
This is
Well,
frozen
your
food.
forehead says outlaw.
Oh yeah.
What are you doing, Jimmy Dale? Poland said he ghosted you today. Did you get the damn thing figured out? Is all the work done?
Yeah, we got it all figured out. You know, we don't really need Poland. It's just
Get him
more
out of
like
here.
a charity deal.
That's it. Booty.
Is it bad? My connection's that bad?
No, I can hear you fine.
No, you're good. You're good. I think maybe just for Lyle.
I think Lyle's got cricket mobile. Or
I
something.
can hear everybody but Brian and Jimmy Dale. Everybody else is perfect.
We've
I'm just
never
being
gone
quiet.
7 wide, man. I think that we're really stressing the servers on this deal today.
I'll jump off anyway. Get back here to meet the UPS man. But I appreciate y'all letting me come on and talk about Mark Stockseth and the Outlaw Beer guys, man. It's a big deal for me and a big deal for us, and I look forward to burning up in Phoenix. It's going to be a hot one, man. So we're going to have to watch
Hey,
our Hudson
yeah.
race there, but I'm excited about it, and hopefully I'll come on next week, Wally in hand. So we'll see.
I
I'm just
need
looking
the
forward
picture
to
of you
this. I'm
standing
just
on
looking forward to the
intake.
beer. Yeah, that's what I
Yes,
want to
that's
see.
all I'm.
Yep.
That's.
Yep.
I will be screaming at the TV all weekend for Lyle to win.
Shotgun.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
guys,
Lyle.
I
Good luck
appreciate
this
See
weekend.
you this weekend.
Lyle.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
See Lyle.
I don't think Outlaw Beer could have picked a better guy than Lyle Barnett. I really don't.
Agreed.
That is one of the most beer drinking some bitches on the whole property. Like, that is the perfect dude for them to be involved with.
Right. Well, yeah,
No
he was
doubt.
talking about, getting the sponsorship on driving alone. It's like Lyle.
Can't hear anything I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I hear
can.
you.
We can hear you. Yeah. But it's like Lyle's like on driving alone,
Just
driving
silence.
sponsorship. Like, brother,
Hell yeah.
you're a huge personality, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's
All right, I'm
he's
out.
perfect for that.
All
Later,
right,
Jimmy.
see you, Jimmy Dale.
Literally, he just in his
He's-
own world. Idiot.
He's got his own cricket wireless over there.
Yeah, he
Obama
does.
phone.
He
He's still
struggles
on
every
that.
time.
He on that 2015 Obama stuff.
Yeah. Well, that next tail when I chirp.
Ooh, I missed my next cell.
Oh, now Chase is gone.
Yeah.
Man,
Remember
but Chase,
was awesome, man. You had two-way
Yeah.
radio. You chum it up with your buddies.
no doubt, man. But going back to the beer deal and with Mark Stockseth, it comes back to getting the good drivers with the following and everything. Brian, we talk about that. You see a lot of drivers now, where it's like, oh, I'm an older guy. I've had a successful business. I got the money to go racing. You see a lot more of that. And then like JT, he hates this part of the sport where killer drivers like Jordan Vandergriff or Lyle or some of these people are on the sidelines and they're waiting for that opportunity. And you love to see it come together like that.
Well, yeah, and if you look at what's happening, and Lyle's the latest example of this, we're really slowly getting back to the owner-driver thing. Like, meaning an owner of the car and a hired driver. Like if you look across the board right now, there are more hired drivers in the NHRA stuff than there has been in years. Like, and it's a slow transition. We went from the mega teams, like these, a handful of guys owned all the cars, right? And then they kind of dissolved. And then we ended up with a situation where, well, okay, if you're going to do this, you're going to own the car and you're going to drive the car. Yeah. And now we're making that next step on it. And the reality is that's the step we have to be in. Like you need the personality of a driver. You need the skill set of a driver that is in there, because that's your superhero, right? Like a guy like Lyle, the reason he's so fun to watch drive the race car is because he's awesome at it, and he's a great guy to listen to and all that kind of good stuff. But the fact that he's not also paying the bills, his only job is to go there and drive the car and represent the sponsor. It's a huge thing. That's the math that works in racing. Like that's the math that helps promote. And you guys know it. Like the sponsorship relationship isn't just about helping them sell product. Everybody elevates everybody here. Like Kenny Bernstein wouldn't have been nearly as famous as he was in the 80s if Budweiser wasn't buying newspaper ads and magazine ads and all this stuff, promoting the shit out of him because he was promoting their brand. You guys working with Hoosier now, like that tire is huge for them. You're going to be able to elevate that tire, but at the same time, these guys are going to be able to help elevate SCT at the same time. Like that's the math. That's the math.
And it allows that driver to do a better job. I mean, not only behind the wheel, but all the activations that it takes to do it. Like Lyle was talking about something he's got going tomorrow in Phoenix, or going to the high limit deal. Like if you got to drive the rig and set up the awning and tune the car and drive it and all these things, that are all encompassing, you can't serve the sponsor the way that you would as the driver, as the face of the brand. So there's a reason why it's always worked that way, and we've gotten away from it, but it is good to see it coming back, as you said.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I think it's good for the series too. It's one of those deals where, we've heard from multiple other sponsors as soon as we signed with Hoosier and VP and stuff like that. We had a couple guys that have been with us for years, smaller companies, equally as important, but smaller companies. And, they called us, they're like, dang guys, like Hoosier, VP. And we're like, yeah. And it just elevates, just takes everything to like the next level of legitimacy. So we're excited about
it's an endorsement, right? It's an endorsement from, in so many ways. It's like, these are companies that tend to be conservative in their decision making. And it's like, once you've cracked the code on that they bought into what you're doing and moving ahead. It's like, Jimmy Dale and Carlisle Tools. Jimmy, we were at the MPMC conference out in California, and Joe Sabo from Carlisle was there. They're a big part of the deal. And Jimmy grabbed me one afternoon. He's like, hey, can you introduce me to Joe over at Carlisle? I said, absolutely. So I got those two guys together, and now they got something going on, which is pretty good. And I'm guessing, hopefully in the end, it ends up benefiting you guys the whole deal you got going on.
That's like, we've got new videos coming out that's incorporating all the Carlisle stuff. And it's like, we've had a blast with that stuff. Like they've really been on board and kind of just let us do our thing. And, that elevated us into, other opportunities as well. So like you're saying, Brian, it's all, when you work together with people like that, it just elevates everybody all together. Jimmy Dale going 100%. In and driving for Rob Kohler, that boosted all of Rob Kohler's social media stuff. Like we have a bunch of the social media juice where Rob didn't have any of that, and that, him getting in the red car and doing as well as he has, like, I'm sure some of y'all may know what's going on. Like we're going to be in a small tire slick car, a very well-known small tire slick car in the next coming weeks for King of the South and some of the IHRA stuff, which will also help elevate that team as well. So it's a win-win on everybody's part whenever you can put the team owner.
Tom's been posting a lot about Pro Mod lately. Have you noticed that? Anybody else?
Oh, he's been asking.
We may or may not been glued to the TV last weekend with the whole Lyle situation, and like so Cord, who works with Billy Manica and tunes or works on all Lyle stuff and all of that, is also he's like our crew chief for the red car. Cord does all of our stuff for that. So we were in communication on the back line with Cord the whole entire time about everything going on. And it like, that's something that we really want to do. We want to go do some NHRA Pro Mod stuff to kind of elevate us and take us to the next level.
You know, I was having a beer with Cord the other night, and he's really enjoying racing with you guys. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like he's thoroughly enjoying it, and some young guys that he can hang out with and shoot the shit with. You know,
And Cord said it the other day. He's like, y'all, I really admire y'all because like y'all are having fun and you're being yourself. Like, it's impressive to watch y'all do, you know, the Jimmy Dale Poland. We're interacting with fans, signing autographs, doing this and that, but we still are there to win. Like, we want to win more than anything. That's why we're there, but we're having a good time while we're doing it. And that's hard to come by.
Yeah, man, that's what it's all about.
I mean,
and I don't know if an NHRA Pro Mod.
You got Mike Graves chasing his dream right now, you know, too, you know, on that car, and which is really cool to see. And his wife, you know, just let him go for the year, basically, you know, to chase the dream. So that's pretty awesome.
Yep.
No doubt, man. NHRA Pro Mod's not ready for Jimmy Dale just yet. They're about to get Lyle.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
They're going to get a dose of Lyle.
We need him.
And then they'll have to step up to Jimmy Dale after that.
Well, hopefully we sell enough Carlisle tools over the next year so that maybe Carlisle can help us get in a Pro Modder. You know, that's just the thing, though, is just, you know, I told Jimmy this morning, I made a Facebook post and tagged all of our sponsors. And I told Jimmy, I said, man, go share it. Like, let's just, you know, pump those sponsors out there. And it may not be much, but it's something, you know, if we can get a couple of people to go buy a couple of tools or some Fuel Tech parts or Strange parts, whoever it may be, if they're buying a little bit of parts every day, like, we're contributing to back to the people that are supporting us.
Right.
No doubt, man.
Yeah, no, listen, I think the first time Jimmy gets out of a car after going 250 miles an hour, I want to be there. I want to witness whatever comes out of his mouth is going to be gold. I just want to see it myself in person.
They better have the bleeps ready, because I assure you there's probably going to be bleep, 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 bleep. Like, yeah, he when he came out of the red car the first time, his first three in the red car, we didn't catch it on video, but it was hilarious. He was like in full blown, like, just utter shock. Like, what was that? Like, so
that's awesome.
Well, guys, appreciate you guys joining us today. We said streetcartakeover.com, all the social, March 28th or 27th, 28th, Atlanta. What's the Kane Brown deal? More details coming on that. April 10th. So we'll be
pretty much with Street Car Takeover. We have an event, if not two events, here on out every single month. From one side of the country to the other side. You can go to Street Car Takeover, find out any rules, information, when we're going to be there. Go grab yourself some merch. We got a ton of merch on the website. Support.
We'll have to check in with you guys. Have you guys back on here in a month or two, and check on you guys and how it's going this year, and definitely be following you guys.
Probably do something before the Charlotte with the Expo deal and all of that, because I think we've got some big plans for Little Gangster stuff there.
We've been talking to Wes about coming out and doing some stuff too. So
I would love to do 128 Little Gangsters in Charlotte, 4 wide, but Chase keeps telling me how stupid and how hard and challenging that is going to be. But
what's another thing?
Yeah, well, why not? Just keep throwing shit at the wall, right?
Why not?
Yeah,
it's all sticking right now. It's all sticking, so just keep throwing it. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys. And we'll let you guys go ahead and jump off. We'll let you guys get back to what you're doing. Brian, let's stay on, wrap up, talk about Phoenix predictions for this weekend, and then we'll cut this thing loose. Chase,
my Phoenix prediction is Lyle is going to stone cold beers on Billy Banneker's Pro Mod. That's my prediction.
That's locked in.
JT, who's your next ad read?
Yeah, we did. JT, take us to a read.
You on Poland?
Now, who do we got? We'll tennis ball this one back and forth.
Yeah, we got Stroud safety, and and Flo.
Hey, y'all go get Stroud safety, so you're not paralyzed like me. You don't want to get in a wreck and not have Stroud on your side, and then your legs don't work. So go get some Stroud safety, so you got a parachute to stop you, and some seat belts to keep you in the car, so that your legs work for the foreseeable future.
Oh man,
That's
What a
hard to follow.
testimonial right there. I think that's going to be Stroud's next ad in the magazine too. We'll get back with you on that.
Stroud, if you're
Tagline.
listening, we can totally put a 5-point harness on the wheelchair and do some testing. Just saying.
And if you sponsor Jimmy Dale, he'll get a Stroud tattoo on his forehead too.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. You know,
That's right.
but hey,
Oh,
my
dude.
whole face is just going to be like one of those high school desks with just all different race car manufacturers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Graffiti.
So
nothing
All
wrong
right,
with that.
boys. Well, we appreciate
All right,
it. Thank you
man.
for having
Chase, Poland, Street Car Takeover.
us. Yep. We'll see you guys later.
Little Gangsters.
y'all.
We'll
Later,
check in
y'all.
with you guys.
get
Later.
lubed
Appreciate it,
up
guys.
with Redline oil and keep
That's
your
right.
legs with Stroud safety.
That's right.
Keep your legs.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Keep your legs. I don't think I ever saw that coming for Stroud safety. I thought he was going to go Strange, being that's a sponsor of Little Gangsters. I thought that's what we were going to get.
Yep.
But no, we got the Stroud safety read. We'll let JT wrap it up with the Strange read. But before we let you go, Brian, thank you for being so gracious with your time here this weekend or this week co-hosting the show with us as we it's kind of been like I said, like a substitute teacher type day here at the Wes Buck Show. So predictions you're probably not allowed to exactly like predict the way we are because you've got to like remain unbiased. But what are some things to look for in the pro classes? Who's a dark horse? Who's a favorite going into this weekend with these crazy temperatures we're going to see?
It's tough to say favorite wise, but I always look at Tim Wilkerson when we get into situations like this, and we're going to get into this, stratospheric heat. I always look at him. Historically, he's proven himself to be a really solid kind of guy in these conditions and getting the car through the end of the racetrack. I think in the end, it's going to be whichever crew chiefs can completely detach their ego from what they're looking at, and maybe winning races ugly is going to be a thing. I can guarantee it's going to be a thing this weekend, whether that means pedaling or that means just having a car that kind of runs like a tow truck but it gets to the finish line. I mean, the coolest part about this race to me is it's, as much as I love when we go to like Sonoma and it's perfect every day and it really is a legitimate throwdown where it's just anything you can hand at the racetrack, it's going to hang on. This is going to be the opposite of that. So, to the point of the guys were joking around about it, but in the pro mod class, it's going to take people who can pedal race cars and people who understand how to get through a shake situation, how to get a car to come back to them when it's trying to move around the racetrack. And that's something Lyle's very good at. And we saw him make the final last week. The Menhold car is unbelievable, right? It wins the World Series. It wins the Gator Nationals. I would not, in my wildest dreams, bet against that thing in any stretch at this point. I think Pro Stock's wide open. So different in approach than the fuel cars of what they're going to have to deal with. And we're going to, Q1's going to set the field to a degree, and then Qs 2 and 4 are going to show me who actually has a hot weather tune-up and who is just trying things to try to get a car down. And, reality isn't Top Fuel. I think Top Fuel is as good as it's been since I've been around the NHRA, and I think that it's I look at a Tommy DeLago. I look at some of these guys that have just so much experience in so many varied areas. I think Justin Ashley is going to be one to watch, and it'll be. If you watch the first round of Top Fuel from the Gators, it was Justin Ashley and Doug Coletta, and they got into this killer pedal race, and Doug's got the thing sideways, and he's just breathing on the throttle. Those are the type of things that are going to win you, the event in Arizona. And one last thing before I bail out here, and you guys fire me whichever way this is going to go. We talked about a bunch of the new events, and I failed to mention US 131.
Yeah,
and we were talking about the events in the springtime, but US 131 is going to be the kickoff of the countdown this year, and we're going there in September in Michigan. It should be, by all rights, that place is very, very fast. And when I look at that racetrack and the people that have run there, a lot of teams have tested there over the course of years, but the Laganas have a ton of experience there. The Northern Nitro Nationals that US 131 has run for a very long time. Really it was a national event for a long time. Then they took it over and self-produced it, a blowout event. Well, one of the last places people ever ran Top Fuel cars, quarter mile. And they did that long after the 1,000-foot era of NHRA started. So until guys started going 339 and 340, Laganas had the outright speed record at like 338, almost 339, running that thing a quarter mile there. So, that racetrack, out of the ones we're going to me, 131 represents the most turnkey of these racetracks, right? Yeah. They're putting in tons of work like everybody else, but thankfully their infrastructure and what they have built and maintained over the years doesn't necessarily require the level of, bringing in all these new seats and bringing in walls and ripping out surfaces and stuff like that. So Peterson family's geared up.
It's a great track surface, and it's a unique surface.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's one that will take whatever you can throw at it. And I think guys that have data from like even the NHRA, ADRL days, some of that stuff that goes back to there, and then obviously these events that they have there now, and even some of the PDRA events that have run there recently, you literally can't throw enough at that track. So I think that's going to really shake things up and be an interesting situation for guys that have never raced there. And I'm interested to see if they get some good weather at that place, and with the teeth that it's got, like what kind of numbers they end up throwing on the boards there. So you're right, of those new events that we were talking about, that is definitely not one to miss for sure.
Yeah, I've had some great moments of my own personal history there, being there with the late Bob Unkerford to call the SFG one ended up being a $1.3 million race. That was unbelievable. It was the end stop for the very first drag week in 2005. Larry Larson ran 8:38. It was low ET for the whole week, and it blew our minds. And now that barely gets you a little Gangsters car at this point in history. And back in the early 2000s when I was traveling with NHRA, we would go there every year and just blow the doors off the place. So I'm looking forward to all that. And one thing I can say that I know internally is that the pre-sale of tickets for all these events all the new events are going crazy, but that Michigan race is off the charts of people buying their tickets. I'm not going to try to it sound like a used car salesman, but if you want to go there, and I think any of these fresh events you want to see, but that one, do not wait around to get tickets, because it's going to be a freaking 3-day sellout up there.
Yeah, that's badass, man. That really good stuff to hear, and just exciting. It's exciting to be this early part of the season and see what we've got coming for us this weekend in Arizona. And we'll have to check in with you again. Can't thank you enough for co-hosting the show with us today and kind of embracing the chaos that today has been. We went 7 wide at one point with all the folks on here, and we'll cut you loose. And no, go ahead.
I was just going to say that the conversation with Chase and Poland was great. I mean, those guys. Yeah. All of us were around for it, but Mike, I think we are in my lifetime, I'm not saying it's the second one ever, but in my lifetime in drag racing, we are in the early mid phase of the second great era of the independent series. Like in the early 2000s, Super Chevy Show, Fun Ford Weekend, Nopi, like we could list off 5 or 6 really successful independent touring series. And you got Import Face Off, which Cliff and those guys have been killing it for years. SET is obviously hitting a national level stride. You got some new series that are popping up. The Drag and Drive thing, to me, those are kind of independent series style of events. The Winter Series is a headliner in this regard. So we're in another golden era of the independent drag race right now, which I think is not something we should not fail to celebrate that.
Yeah. We've talked about that a lot on this show, that the sport is stronger. It goes without saying that the sport is stronger with these independent events, and it can't all be on national events or NHRA, and you can't gauge the entire health of the sport just by what you see on TV or what you see out of these big mainstream events. There's so much going on every weekend, and there's so much health in the sport right now. You got to get out there, support your local racetrack, support these independent events. There's something out there for everybody right now, but I couldn't agree with you more. And I think we're in a golden age of drag racing right now. Hey, Gainesville, the largest crowd ever to attend a drag race just happened. So between that and all these things going on, man, there's no room for doom and gloom at all in the sport right now. And it's definitely going to be an exciting 2026. Like I said, we'll have to check back in, have you back on the show here, maybe the midpoint of the NHRA season, and check in on some of the storylines that are starting to develop right now.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, Brian.
See you guys.
Safe travels, man.
Man, I got her whipped.
Man, that's a lot of work on here when you got to take the lead role and you never get a break, man. Me and you are normally coasting in the background at this point, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was fun though, man. It was good having those guys on and talking about all that stuff. Brian's right. Like these independent events and Street Car Takeover and all this stuff, like you have to get out and support that stuff, be a part of it. And there's something for everyone out there right now. And to see 2 big series like Little Gangsters, like Street Car Takeover partnering up and sort of bringing one audience to the other and vice versa, I think is a huge thing. And we'll continue to see that thrive and grow this year.
Those Street Car Takeover events are really fun. I mean, I went with Wes one time when he raced his car, and it was a blast. I'd like to go to one of those parties, though. I know that seems like you're probably surprised, but
it's shocking. But that's what it's all about, man. These events, like we even know with our own stuff that it's not just what you do on track. It's not just the performance. Like Lyle said, he performed great last weekend, but it's about what you do away from the track, and he's killing that as well. So it'll be great to see Lyle out there as everybody tries to stay cool in Phoenix. We'll see what NHRA Pro Mod has for us in this second stop on their tour. And we'll be back again. I think we'll have the full crew next week, and we'll check in, recap what happened, and on to the next one, buddy.
That's right, man. All right, let's wrap her up.
All right, man. We'll see you guys here, same time, same place next week, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central on the Wes Buck Show.
It actually will be the Wes Buck Show then.
It will be. It won't be a Les Buck Show. Yeah. But appreciate you guys. Thanks as always. We'll see you next week.